it's the culture that we were able to create. We took a bunch of strangers that all had a common goal, which was we want to make food, we want to sell good food, and we want to do it in the best way possible.
Burgers, tacos, pizza. Oh my! Season 7 of the No Dishes podcast is here. Once again, brought to you by Visit Bloomington. Check them out at visitbloomington.com. Especially if you live in Bloomington, you'll find out about all this cool stuff going on around town that you had no idea about. Also, please support our other advertisers on this episode. The best way to show us some love is to show them some love. You already know what I'm going to say. Play that theme song.
Hey, say, honey, let's go out to eat. Relieve our culinary duties. With all these restaurants to sweep us off our feet, they're bound to turn us into foodies. No dishes, no dishes, no dishes. We'll have a bottle of wine for lights and have a good time. No dishes. No dishes.
Bloomington's been very fortunate to have a lot of amazing food trucks, a lot of great pizza like Pizza X. What a lot of people don't realize is where these trucks set up. What makes it possible for them to even operate is to have a commissary. The number one in town where most of the trucks operate out of, and so much more that we don't know about, people at farmers market, you name it, is the One World Kitchen Chair. And here to tell us all about it is the man with a plan, the man behind it all, the GM of Commissary Operations, nailed it, Mr. Jay Burton.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Jay. I'm glad you could be here. We've talked for a while, and I think you summed it up very well. I think you've been mentioned more on this podcast than anyone that hasn't made an appearance on the podcast.
Sure.
So we are making up for lost time at this point, because anyone we've had on, from Mama Duke's Hawaiian Barbecue to Pinoy Garden to Bloomburger to Kyle Danke with One World to Jeff Meat, like, your names come up in about 50% of the episodes.
Usually for the good, I hope.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't recall any that weren't. So that's great. Can you tell us a little bit about the kitchen chair and kind of what it is?
So the kitchen chair is it's basically a rent by the hour kitchen. It's something that we developed, or that was kind of developed for us, kind of thrust on us. When small groups of, restaurant people, it's so hard to create a brick and mortar nowadays, and they have to have a commercial commissary to work out of. So what we do is we rent time, space, storage for small businesses so they can come in, they can make their stuff, all using, all under the commissary umbrella. So that way they're covered legally, but they can still sell everything that they need to sell, or make everything that they need to sell at a fraction of the price, because they don't have all that overhead.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's so necessary. I mean, for you to get a mobile vendor's permit, food truck license in Indiana, you need a commissary agreement.
Right.
And so I would venture to say maybe 80% of the food trucks in town are at One World. It's a very high percentage. So, we obviously, with Food Truck Friday, feel like we've done a lot to help food trucks. I venture to say One World's probably even more so, because you guys are there as a resource. Like you said, it eliminates so much upfront costs that people would typically have to run a food truck or have a brick and mortar. And you guys are just like, hey, here's this amazing big space that you can use and make your stuff. Whereas like home bakers, that's about it. That's about what you can make at home and sell.
Right.
But even then, you can't use like anything with dairy. Like, there's some strict regulations for home bakers. So anyone that wants to sell their food, you can't just cook in your kitchen at home. And that's where One World Kitchen Share comes in. So how large is the space? I mean, it's massive. I've been in there numerous times. That's where we make our famous chili sauce, coney sauce for the chocolate mousse. So we benefit off of it too. And we're an established business. But if it wasn't for them, we'd have to figure out some other kitchen that we don't have at the chocolate mousse to go make our coney sauce, our chili sauce. So yeah, tell us about kind of the space and what you guys offer.
So we've got 3 rental spaces. So each one are pretty much identical. Well, right now we have 2, but pretty close to 3. Each space is identical. So you get a 17 feet of table space, 3-bay sink, 2-bay sink, hand sink, access to 4 convection ovens now, 2 ranges, 2 deep fryers. We have refrigerated storage, freezer storage, dry storage. We offer parking for food trucks, as much room as we allow. I mean, we only have 9 spots.
Yeah.
So
they're always being used.
And they're always being used.
Yeah.
Every now and again we'll get one that leaves us, and then we get to bring in the next truck. But we just offer pretty much everything that you need to get started.
I love it. So how'd you come into this role? This is one thing we've worked with you for a while through Chocolate Mousse, Food Truck Friday with Chuck. So I've known you for a while, but I don't know this answer, so I'm excited to learn.
So I was fortunate enough to become the GM of One World Commissary in 2008. That's Pizza X's production facility. Dough, sauce, veggies, you name it. That's what we make. We were approached slightly before that with a gentleman by the name of Robert Shaw. I'll never forget him, making peanut brittle. He was like, well, the health department said we had to have this. He talked to Jeff. Jeff's like, yeah, we've got a kitchen that we only use 8 hours a day. This is back when we were on Roger Street next to the Beeline. So, we work out time for him and we get him in and he makes his peanut brittle and everything goes well. Then fast forward just a little bit, old GM leaves, I take over. And then more people kind of, it's like, well, we did it for one. Can we do it for another? And that's when, in the early days, that's when you had the Big Cheese. That's when you had Lucky Guy Bakery, and when Joni.
Oh, wow.
When Joni came in, she's like, I need time. And I was like, yeah, I think I've got a couple hours on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
At this point.
Can you come in at midnight?
And Yugo bars and Yule Zing coffee.
Wow.
And Rasta Pops, one of the originals from Roger Street that moved with us to Rappel. We were just helping everybody. And we didn't have a blueprint for this. There was no clue. It's like, we've got kitchen time. You can use kitchen time. We'll charge you for some kitchen time. So I took my role as commissary GM and we just sort of bundled.
Okay, yeah.
So now we're like, okay, we're going to create another side business. It was nothing. It's never supposed to really do anything. It wasn't supposed to make a ton of money. It wasn't supposed to do anything like that. It was basically us just trying to help these small businesses move forward. And it got to the point where we were just like, okay, I don't have any more time. I don't have any more time in this kitchen. I don't have any more space. And I went to Jeff. I was like, hey, if we want to expand this, we need to move into somewhere bigger. And the email I got back, I think G-rated, was pretty much, you're nuts.
Yeah.
And not 2 weeks later, I think it was roughly 2 weeks, we get an email from, maybe a month. We get an email from our landlords on Roger Street that said, hey, we're going to raise the building. You guys are going to have to find somewhere else. So, by the way, the building's still there.
I know. Thank you. That was my follow-up. Because I was like,
Yeah, so the building's still there. But so we found this awesome space. And we were like, we mapped it out. We blueprints the whole 9 yards. We built the kitchen. And we were like, there's so much more that we can do to help people. So my role of commissary GM rolled into guy that's just scheduling time and space to GM of commissary, time and space guy, plus kitchen share dude.
Extraordinaire.
Yeah, we'll go that way.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool that it started out just, again, it's not, so for those that don't know, you referenced Jeff. So Jeff Meese has One World, Hive, Pizza X. He's been on the podcast a couple of times. Most people in the community know who Jeff Meese is. But yeah, One World does all these things that are there to make money. Hive, formerly Lenny, sold to Mike and Sammy, but they have the Woolery Mill, the One World Catering, all these things that are like, okay, these are businesses. But the kitchen share is like, it's a business, but it's really like almost our One World in a way of saying like, thanks to the community and helping all these startups that again would have such a tougher road if it wasn't there to begin with.
Oh, absolutely.
So you guys get this space. Well, so they say we're going to tear down the building, never tore it down. And now I think it's Carpenter Realtors over there or something?
Well, Carpenter was always there.
Okay.
So we worked out of the space right behind that, which is now Cook's Animal Health.
Gotcha. And I think before that, I was like a CrossFit.
CrossFit was on the side.
Okay.
So the animal health part of Cook, up the little ramp right there. Our walk-in's still there, actually.
Really?
So yeah, so it's all right there. So it was in the middle of the building that we were at. So
yeah, just a little bit north of 8 or south of 11th. But yeah, so that's you guys. You're like, okay, we're getting out of here. That's so funny. The timing of that. Everything's all about timing. Where you're like, okay, I guess we're gonna have this space. So you find this space up on the north side that is kind of annoying to get in and out of.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That's a nice way to put it.
It was less annoying when we bought the building.
Yeah,
know,
well,
so-
now you have all the work going on the bypass.
Right.
It's a little rough. But so, I mean, how many clients you guys are up to? Quite a few now.
38.
38.
38. As of counts this morning, 38.
What's your favorite? I'm just kidding.
I don't have a favorite. I'm kind of okay. So I'm a parent. I've got 6 kids, and what I tell them is I don't have a favorite child all the time. You know, I have a favorite different days.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's kind of like my clients. I don't have a least favorite.
Yeah.
I just have one that's more my favorite every now
That's
and
great.
again.
Yeah, that was the follow up. Was who's the problem child? I'm just kidding. I'm
You know,
sure
I-
there's not one. Yeah,
Believe it or not, there's not one.
that's great. I wasn't expecting you to actually answer that. I was hoping. Well, you've just got so many great people in there. We've mentioned quite a few. Can you kind of name off? So you obviously don't feel bad you're going to leave some out.
No.
But just so people know, kind of a quick snapshot of who all's in there.
So, just off top of the head, because I was in there today. So, a Raper Burger was in there today,
Mm-hmm.
and
Marcus and Nicole just got married, by the way.
they did.
Congratulations.
It was wonderful. Considerate Burrito is a new one.
Yes, I've been
With
wanting.
Joshua?
Aren't they? It's like burrito, like meal prep, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you've got the new guys are
Real
Crepe
quick.
Outdoors. Yeah,
Can
go
we
ahead.
can we talk about? I want to talk about this burrito thing because I've seen it. What can you tell me about them and what they're making?
So, I will be honest with you. I don't go downstairs. They're not prepping when I'm there.
Okay.
So, but
gotcha.
I mean, I've seen. So I see the after.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I go into the freezer and I see the burritos and I see the burritos in a jar, you know, which are, you know, and it's
Ooh,
amazing.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's, you know, it's just basically there you go, you have it and it's delicious.
Yeah, because I'm someone that, again, I like good food, but I don't have enough time to cook.
Right.
So anytime there's a new meal prep option that's local in town, it's like, ooh, I want to know about it. So Considerate Burrito. Garrett pulled it up really quickly just on Facebook, and you can see all these pictures of them at the kitchen chair, whipping up just burritos on burritos, dozens at a time.
Exactly.
So you haven't tried any of it yet.
No, I haven't been fortunate
Okay.
enough to try it yet.
So yeah, then that'll just lead me in while we're talking about it. We have Lost Farm, who's out of there with Ron Abden, who's an incredible chef. He's professor for culinary over at Ivy Tech, and just makes really. I've talked about him on here before, him and Lost Farm, and they just like everything's always seasoned perfectly. Everything I've ever had from Lost, they set up a food truck Fridays, but they'll put out a new menu every like Tuesday and deliver the following Tuesday. Put your order in by like Friday. Everything I've ever ordered from them was just like the perfect. It has like full flavor and it's seasoned perfectly. So Lost Farm is another one that's out of the One Wonder Kitchen Share.
Right. It's amazing too because Ron always seems to know when I'm sick, so I always get like he'll bring me a little soup.
Oh, what
you
a-
know, so it's awesome. But I love Lost Farm, and their pierogi place is a new one.
yeah, okay.
And then you've got, you know, our old favorites. You've got Uno Mosh, you've got Bloomberger, you've got Pinoy, you've got
Pinoy Garden is now setting up in Cambridge Fieldhouse for Pacers games. So check them out. If you go to any Pacers games, you might see Bloomington Filipino food in Cambridge, which is super cool. Super excited for Maria and Chris. Like
absolutely.
what an opportunity.
yeah, they get the whole month of December, I believe, for all
Yeah.
the home games. So I'm super excited to see them. So there's so many clients, and I know there's some that I'm missing. I can tell you, you know, Planted was there up until this week.
Yeah,
And I mean, it was awesome. They were able to create their own kitchen. So that's super awesome. We're not just, you know, we don't want you to stay with us forever. As funny as that sounds.
Yeah.
You know, I want you to be with us as long as you need to be with us, and then you need to graduate.
Yeah, it's like an incubator.
Right.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. You know, we've got Dr. G, you know, with her popcorn. You know, Virginia's amazing. She doesn't work out of the commissary anymore. She did what she needed to do, and she
Moved
was
on.
able to get better and do without us. And that's what we're shooting for. You know, if you want to stay with us forever, that's great. I've always considered, you know, the kitchen share one big dysfunctional family.
It really is.
You know,
I don't know about the dysfunctional, but from the outside looking in, I could just see that it's one big family, just the way everyone talks to each other at Food Truck Fridays and just out and about. You can tell you guys are all in that kitchen, seeing each other all the time, working together.
Well, what I thought, you know, whenever we started this is like, okay, I don't know what to do if I have 2 barbecue trucks, or I don't know what to do if we have 2 taco trucks sign up, or I'm really concerned about this. And that was the silliest concern I think I've ever had.
It's wild.
Because you walk in there and you see these groups that should, in theory, be, you know, direct competitors, not even partial competitors, but I sell the same stuff as you. And instead of, the stink eye and hiding ingredients and all that good stuff, you literally you could sit there for 20 minutes and just listen to a conversation about, hey, this is what I'm selling. This is how I'm doing it. How are you doing it? And it's like, this is mind blowing.
Yeah, it's great. Here, try it. Too.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the best part of the kitchen is you never go hungry.
Yeah, even at Food Truck Friday, Hamid rolls up with doner kebab, and then he runs over and talks to Shafiq with Kebab on Wheels.
Right.
And they're helping each other. Oh, hey brother, can I borrow some to-go containers? And you would think that they would be not enemies, but you know what I mean? It's the two kebab trucks in town.
Right.
They shouldn't be friends, but they are. And that's what makes Bloomington incredible.
Exactly.
How much are you paying for your restaurant's business insurance? What's affordable for your needs? What does your agent do for you that isn't just policy writing? Tony Brown with First Insurance Group has a keen eye for the policies all restaurant owners and operators would love to have. Tony provides risk management and other HR resources free of charge as your agent. Tony has no waiting period for loss of business coverage starting from day one, minute one, unlike other carriers' 72-hour waiting period. Tony has no audit for liquor liability and general liability, saving you time so you can focus on running your restaurant. And Tony's insurance carrier is the preferred vendor of choice for the Indiana Restaurant and Lodging Association. Call or text Tony Brown with First Insurance Group today, 812-327-2321. Set up a free review of your current policy and see how Tony can help you protect your largest investment, your business. 812-327-2321.
That's my favorite part of this is, it's not just the food. The food's my favorite part.
That's why we're here.
But it's the culture that we were able to create. We took a bunch of strangers that all had a common goal, which was we want to make food, we want to sell good food, and we want to do it in the best way possible. And the one thing that Jeff said that stuck with me, and I hate to admit that anything ever sticks with me with Jeff, was, everybody's so worried about getting a bigger piece of the pie. He said, what we need to worry about is making the pie bigger for everybody.
I love that.
And it was just that's amazing. When you can go in and you can say that and mean it, anybody can say it.
Yeah, it's not just lip service.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody can say that. And when we've had multiple pizza places come in and use our equipment because theirs died, direct competition, and we could have shut it down. And Jeff, there's no need.
Yeah, sure.
He's like, you're local, come on in, we'll help you out as best as we can. So that blew my mind.
Yeah, that's incredible. Well, and it's cool. Just, it helps when that's your boss. Oh, hey, my boss actually, he's a good dude. You know what I mean? He's not out over here no, screw them. They can figure it out. It's no, yeah, come on in. We got equipment. Pizza X is still going to do what Pizza X does.
Right.
Yeah, that's not going to matter if they, oh man, we had a 5% uptick for a week because our competitors were out. Is that really worth it?
Not. If you can go home and sleep at night because you did good.
Yeah.
It's the money's going to be there. The sales are going to be there. Pizza X is Pizza X.
Yeah.
We're
going to be just fine.
We sell roughly 1 out of every 2 pizzas in town on any given night.
Really?
Yep. So it's we're not worried about competition. We want everybody to succeed.
Yeah. Well, and everyone's doing stuff different.
Right.
We've had so many people on here. We're like, hey, what's your favorite pizza? It's well, if I'm in this mood, I'm getting Mother Bears. If I'm in this mood, I'm getting Avers. In this mood, it's Pizza X. They all fill a need.
Right.
And everyone's doing it a little bit different. They're not all the exact same.
Oh, of course not.
So how do you, if you don't mind me asking, how do you guys come up with the number of hey, we're selling 1 out of every 2?
It's a market share. It's research. We send people out. We just do, they do the research. I'm lucky enough to not have to have that knowledge.
Yeah.
All I know is they say this is what market share research says, and this is the answer. And if I go through and I actually talk to the marketing people, they could tell me exactly how that works.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to know that roughly, where our market share sat the last time we ran it was roughly 1 out of 2.
Wow, man, I'm going to make a note I want to know about ice cream. I need to see we need to do a market analysis. We're over here just winging it.
It's okay.
So you guys run Pizza X North out of the same space as the kitchen share. And so it's, people might've seen it, 2 years ago or so? maybe 3 now, that Pizza X North was out of there, and it's like, hey, can people do carry out of there? It's delivery only.
Delivery only.
That's what I thought. Okay, so what was that decision like? As far as, I mean, have you had anyone confused about a delivery only location?
Well, yes. I mean, in the beginning it was, especially since we had to change some people's home store.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
that makes
so
sense.
we did it basically it helped us by taking a little bit of areas from other stores to put into the north delivery area. We could go farther north now with this store to deliver. We added a few customers, but we basically wanted to give better delivery times to the client, or to the customers that were at the fringe of Pizza X West, campus, or Ellettsville, at the fringe. So north can take that fringe area and then go north with it.
It's great. Yeah, and it's all about, I mean, in the pizza delivery game, it's all about speed.
Yep.
Right.
we try to deliver. Jeff gave the number, and I know I heard it Monday. We want to average 24 minutes a delivery. 20 between 24. Traffic makes it harder out of the north side.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
You've got to get out, and then if you're going back east, you're going out, you're going up to the light, you're doing the U-turn, you're coming back. And then this morning, they've changed the lanes from the time I got to work at 8 o'clock to the time I left today. So the lanes were completely different when I left. So
that's super fun.
It's always exciting.
Maybe this is our opportunity to remind people about the zipper merge, because that's been my because I live by the Northside Kroger.
Right.
So going home every day, the right or left lane, whichever one they have it funneling into, is backed all the way through the bypass or through Walnut College. Because no one wants to use both lanes.
Nobody wants exactly.
Merge.
Nobody wants to do the zipper,
and then that then complicates everything at that light, because they're all back anyway. Zipper merge, please, for the love of God. We're gonna clip this out. That's the whole reason. I just want to bring that up so I can clip it out and post it to
That's okay.
Bloomington What's Going On group.
That's important. my kids can tell you more than once that we've just screamed in the car about the zipper. So at least it makes sense.
Yeah, you're just over there. The kids are like motioning at other drives. Zipper.
Yeah, it's like. Just listen.
Come on. Well, it's everyone. It's the Midwest part. Everyone doesn't want to be rude. Like, no, you're not being rude. This is how literally the authorities.
This is how you want to do it, so
faster.
that way we don't back up traffic. Yep. It's simple.
I've just noticed that one of the other client or people that rent space out of that building is GoPuff, and you could track the driver, And so I've seen it before when I've ordered GoPuff, and you see them come out, and then they have to go up and do the U-turn around, and it's always funny. I was like, those poor drivers must just be like, God, if I could just have a left turn out of here. Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, and they say whenever it's all done, it's going to be great. You can follow the Pizza X drivers too on our app.
Yeah.
So you can see where your pizza is, and it's like, oh, it's going that way, and then it'll be back.
Yeah.
But I know it'll be back. It's okay. It's kind of like a boomerang. It's going to go one way, but we'll get it eventually.
Yeah, it's like, what are they doing? I'm this way.
It's like, we'll find you.
Yeah. How long? So when exactly did this whole operation open at the current location?
Current location, 2017, 2016.
Okay, so somewhere,
2016, 2017. I've slept since then. It's been a while.
It's good. I'm proud of you.
You
need it. You deserve it.
I want to say 2016 is when we moved.
Okay, great. And then just give us an idea, like when it first started out, did you have maybe 10 clients, something like that? And then
we pulled the 8 roughly that we had, and then we added a couple more as we first got started. And we're still trying to set up the building, and we're trying to set up exactly how we envision the new process to work. So I think we brought 8, and then we added a couple. So I would say within that first couple of months, we were a solid 10.
Okay. And then has it just been a steady growth since then? Or was there any time that was just like, whoa, out of nowhere, you just got hit with?
This year has been insane.
Really? Okay.
This year was our heaviest one year. And it, with kitchen chair, it's kind of like IU. You know that there's a heavy time, then you're going to have a lull, and then there's going to be another heavy time, and then you're going to have your lull. And we haven't found our first lull yet. So that's what we're searching for. I mean, as of a couple of weeks ago, we're still adding clients, which blows my mind. Yeah.
Do you guys have like a cap in mind on what you can really handle? Because it all boils down to what time they book, right?
It really does. Our time. My biggest bottleneck right now is a freezer. Believe it or not, it's how much freezer space I have left. So as far as time goes, the way I look at time is, yes, we've got these 2 kitchens available. And then if those 2 kitchens are completely booked, now keep in mind we're a 24/7, 365 kitchen.
Right.
You can come in at 2 a.m, make what you want to make. That's why we do what we do. But okay, these 2 kitchens are booked. Well, we've got an overflow kitchen. that we don't book out just for emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the commissary kitchen. And after 3 o'clock, my guys are gone. So I've got that whole opening. So I don't want to I can't put a cap on how many clients I have. It's all going to boil down to when I run out of time.
Yeah. Huh.
So-
well, and now freezer space.
Right. And I mean, even that, if that's my bottleneck, we solve the problem.
Right.
If that is, okay, we're going to run out of freezer space, well, let's find more.
Yeah.
Is that, okay, let's invest in a new freezer. Let's see if I can reconfigure the freezers I have. We have options. So I'm not even close to saying we're at the end of we're at the end of the road yet.
Wow. That's great. It's fantastic. What I just love to see, and I don't know if it has anything to do with how far away we are getting from the pandemic or what, that like, okay, maybe there is this renewed, like I can open up my passion project of selling pierogies or, doing this burrito meal prep. And like, I feel okay about it now. Whereas, in the past few years, you're a little wary because you're like, you just saw what happened.
Right.
Like that, and everything just shuts down.
Well, and that was weird. The pandemic itself. So Pizza X was exceptionally busy.
I'm sure.
With no staff. So I'm working, 50, 60, 70 hours making dough. Kitchen Share was dead. Like there was nobody. So it was weird to go in there for weeks at a time and say, okay, there's one guy that I see once. And it's now you're like, I'm just now seeing openings up on the schedule, that aren't, I can walk out of my office, look over the ledge, and there's always somebody there.
Right.
Before it was, and the thing that bothers me the most is how quiet it is when it's empty.
It's got to be eerie. Yeah.
You kind of need the chaos.
Of course, it's a kitchen.
You hear it and you're like, okay. And you hear things drop and you're like, I know what that was.
Yeah.
You hear timers going off and it's kind of like, it's like raindrops on a tin roof to certain people.
Yeah,
you hear
of
the
course,
noise and
yeah.
it's ambient and you don't pay attention to it until it's not there. And then it's just eerie.
Yeah. And you're just like, this isn't right.
Right. And then so we after we hit COVID and then we started peaking back up and over, it just, and then everybody just kept layering and layering and we got more clients, and it's amazing to see that everybody came out of that and then everybody's now willing to open up and say, okay, I think I can do this. I'm at a point where I can do this.
There's no place like home for the holidays. Don't miss Constellation Stage and Screen's family holiday musical, The Wizard of Oz, on stage December 12th through 29th at the Buskirk Chumley Theater. Travel down the yellow brick road with Dorothy and Toto in a whimsical journey filled with iconic songs and dazzling choreography. An absolute delight for audiences of all ages, The Wizard of Oz invites you to discover the magical power of home. See The Wizard of Oz on stage this holiday season, December 12th through 29th in downtown Bloomington. Find tickets at cconstellation.org. Out of this one building, you have 38 Kitchen Share clients. You're doing all of the prep and dough for every Pizza X location.
Yep.
You've got Pizza X North delivering and making pizzas out of there.
Yep.
You have the offices for the One World's employees. And then you have GoPuff running a good amount of space.
Yep.
Did I about cover it?
Oh, no.
What am I missing?
So Bloomington Bagel Company's commissary is out of there.
Wow. Okay.
Wonder Lab has a storage facility in one of our bays. Blue Line Media is in one of our bays.
Really? Okay.
Yep. And then you've got, in the far kitchen, Piccola Dolce is doing their prep out of there as well.
Maria, fantastic.
So I mean, there's just so many things going on.
Yeah, it's wild. When it's just crazy how if you took that away, how the ripple effect that would have across Bloomington. And I don't think people, and that's one of the reasons I want to have you on here. I don't think people understand what's going on at this one address.
Right.
And like how much of an effect it's having on the rest of Bloomington.
Oh,
and you just look at, Gary pulled it up on Google Maps. It's like, yep, just looks like a building. But it's just so much culinary wise is going on out of this one regular shop. Right. So shout out to you and Jeff for pulling that off, man.
I've never noticed. I've never been able to see all the solar panels on the top of that building before. So that's insane.
Yeah.
I knew we installed them, but I've never actually gotten
to actually see them.
I've never seen a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
That's
another thing, with Jeff and One World, and you guys have always been really great about being, conscious about the, environmental effects your businesses have.
crazy.
Yeah, is that whole, so go Google Map, whatever, Rappel Drive, and you'll see all the solar panels on the top roof, and Jeff randomly was doing some ice baths out there for random people on really hot days.
Yeah.
How was that for? What was that phase?
Nope, that definitely happened.
Yeah. How was it? Did you hop in?
Nope.
Did you enjoy a lot of random people coming around when you had work to do?
I'm in the building.
Yeah.
I'm in the building doing the things that, I'm supposed to be doing.
That's good. Well,
But, I also know that it was, when it got exceptionally hot, you did what you had to do. It's 100 and some degrees and
and ice baths are like the new thing. People are all about it's real. And apparently, it's got a list of health benefits from. So maybe I just need to do one.
I'm an old fat guy. If I jumped in an ice bath, I'm not getting out.
Yes. And my thing is I don't know if I trust my ticker.
My back would seize up and I'd try to roll out of the tub and it'd just be bad.
Yeah. It's like, do you have a side that folds down? Otherwise, I'm not getting.
Yeah. If you can have one of those tubs that open up, and I can
exactly.
step in and then we shut it. Maybe we'll talk.
That's so smart. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's like getting out. I was always just worried about my heart's just going to be like, nope, this is it. We've been hanging in as long as we can, and this sudden shock.
This is how you decided to go.
Yeah,
Out of anything, this is what takes you.
You could have been having a delicious burger, but instead he wanted to do
ice
this.
bath, huh?
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Like
okay.
no one had that on their card of how Jordan was going to go out.
No, and
it was all what food was he going to be eating?
Do you put that in an obituary? That's my question. Or on a headstone.
I feel like you just make as many ice and cold puns in the, obituary.
Without actually mentioning how you died.
And then if you knew, you're like, oh, this is hilarious.
Like, oh, that's great. And if you're not, and you're like, poor thing.
Yeah.
I feel so bad.
Yeah. I love that. I actually love that idea. Man, I just realized, I thought I knew what was going on, and you just listed off BBC, Piccolo Dolce. You guys are just doing it all. So let's go back to the beginning for Jay Burton. Give us your backstory. You started out when 2007, 2008. But we didn't, can we go all to the beginning?
Let's go all the way back. So I was a lawnmower mechanic.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Lawnmower mechanic. We just moved back into town from Virginia. We moved in. So we had a lawnmower shop there on Arlington Road right there on the corner. Well, whenever they decided to put in the new highway, I got laid off because we lost all of our business. Nobody could get in. It was amazing. So I was lucky enough to be given, I'm not going to say I acquired, I was given an interview, Commissary, in 2003. All right. So lawnmower mechanic, worked for families. So
from Bloomington?
From Bloomington.
Okay.
So Commissary was my first real job.
Outside of
family work.
Okay, yeah.
So, and I was like, man, I really need a job. They were like, here's this interview. I was like, okay, cool. I went in it was a very professional interview, if you want to believe that. And I was like, okay, I'll work in food for 6 months. I never wanted to work in food. I had no desire to be in food, but I needed money. So I was like, okay, I'll work in food for 6 months until I can find something better. It was August 28, 2003. So here we are 21 years later, same company. And it's grown from, I started in as a dough maker, third assistant, second assistant, first assistant. GM decides to give 2 weeks notice. He quits. So I'm given 2 weeks to learn how to be a GM. And you can't tell from my calm, very rational demeanor now, but that's not exactly how I was in 2008. Yeah, I was freaking out.
We've all come a long way.
It was bad. It was like really bad. But then I got the opportunity to run the commissary, and things have just kind of snowballed ever since.
Huh?
It was pizza dough, which I genuinely liked making pizza dough. I can't do it anymore because I'm allergic to flour.
Oh wow!
Baker's asthma is a real thing.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Absolutely. So I'm gluten intolerant, and I've breathed in flour for so long that I can't work in the dough room anymore without a giant respirator.
I had no idea that. I never even heard that mentioned. I didn't know that was a thing.
It is a thing. And I'm kind of happy that I was the one that got it, because that allowed us the knowledge to put in the filtration system and everything else for everybody else. So that way it kind of, it makes the dough room safer for everybody else. And you can find a place where you can edit this out here in just a little bit, But we went from there to making pizza dough to, okay, I can't make pizza dough anymore, but I can work in the rest of the kitchen. So I advise in the dough room, and then I I can cut onions and I can make sauce and I can bake and I can do everything else. But most of my job, after COVID, because we were killing it in COVID. I was in the dough room every day.
So this was more a recent development that you found out about the gluten intolerance.
Yeah, it was before COVID.
Okay.
But you do what you had to do. So
even though you knew that before the pandemic, you still were making dough every day during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because you had no one else to do it.
We had 4 people during the pandemic. It was so bad that we actually had GMs and managers from Pizza X's coming in to help us in the dough room every day. So I threw on a respirator, sounded like Darth Vader, and made dough. Or I cut dough. I cut a lot of dough. I didn't make as much as I usually do, but I cut a ton of dough because that was back before we invested all the money in the new machines. So we hand cut every dough ball.
Wow.
So that was amazing, and it was a great time. I hate to admit that. And I mean, the respirator definitely wasn't fun to use, and it was a trying time just, physically. It was a lot of work.
I'm sure.
But yeah, so we go through that. We go through COVID. We get staffing settled. Everything's great. And we just get to relax. They put me upstairs. I'm still general manager, but I have enough assistants. I have enough staff that do most of the production every day, so they don't need me. I still go in every morning and say, is there anything you need from me before I go upstairs? They say, yes, I do it. They say no. I say, cool, I'll be upstairs if you need me. And yeah, here we are.
That's great. Well, that should be the goal. I mean, it's great to have the leader, know how to do everything and able and willing when needed. But at the end of the day, you should be able to focus on what your job is, and so it's nice that you have that team in place now.
Right.
And now you can.
Absolutely.
That's huge. Yeah, we're fortunate enough to take our ice cream up to you guys for Pizza X, little grasshopper and vegan strawberry.
Yep.
Boom, nailed it. Always fun when we have someone like, have you done the Pizza X delivery? They're like, no. We're like, all right, we'll do this, do that. Talk to Jay. You'll be good. The No Dishes Podcast is brought to you by visitbloomington.com. VisitBloomington.com is the best resource for restaurant and culinary information, special events, fun activities, places to stay, and more in our area. We share a similar mission here on the No Dishes Podcast of highlighting local businesses and the people who make our community unique. We can't thank them enough for hopping on board. Check them out at visitbloomington.com to easily plan your next meal, visit, or night out on the town. Well, that was something you guys did during the pandemic, actually, was brought on Chocolate Mousse, brought on Hartzell's and Ben & Jerry's.
Yep.
And they were like, hey, let's support. And then you guys also did some stuff with Baked, too. Jeff was huge as far as like, hey, how can we help out local spots during this crazy time?
Yeah. I mean, and that was his goal. First we did Baked, and we were buying just, cookie dough, and we were baking them in the stores. And then we switched from cookies to ice cream. And then we took on you guys, and Hartzell's, and and then some Ben & Jerry flavors, because you've got those people that move into Bloomington that have never heard from me, of all the other stuff.
Well, it's a good mix.
So yeah, and it's a great mix. Mm-hmm. I have local flavor. I have 2 local flavors, so from each of you. So there's 4 local flavors there, 5 Ben & Jerry's.
You got options.
Yeah, you got all kinds of options.
Yeah, and you guys go through a good amount of ice cream.
Oh, I know.
People are doing that ice cream add-on on their pizza orders a lot.
It's super fun to send those texts. Justin gets my text. And I'm like, I need 90 more pints of grasshopper.
I think you guys are the only people that order through Justin anymore.
I can order through you.
No, I know. No, it's cool. No. It's fun. It's perfect. But like everything else is like through the website or through me. But it's nice that like Justin still has his thing. We can be. He's like, love you get Pizza X orders.
I just had one number saved in my phone for a while, and that's the one I ordered from. So.
No, I know. No, it's perfect. It's good because he'll send it to the group. Be like, hey, whenever we can get up there, we need to take it up there. So that's awesome that you've had this opportunity to just be with One World for 21 years. And obviously the company's treated you right for you to stay around as long as you have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's what you think about quintessential Bloomington companies, and I feel like One World's as large as it gets when it comes to culinary. Endeavor kind of came in, bought a bunch, sold off a bunch,
right.
And then Finney Hospitality, does some great stuff too. But no one's quite been around as long or is quite as big as old One World. Doing their thing, chugging along. Anything with the kitchen share we didn't get a touch on yet that you guys do or you want people to know about it?
I think we hit the big stuff.
Yeah.
It was. It is our It is our philanthropic pseudo business.
Right. As long as
If
you
you
can
will.
break even almost, you're like, cool.
We've never profited.
Really?
Kitchen Share has never profited in all the years we've run it.
So it really is a philanthropic.
Yeah, I can tell you that, when I see the numbers every month, we're always, we're not far off.
Yeah. Well, that's good. You don't want to be
But,
hemorrhaging.
we don't want to be hemorrhaging, but it's not a profit-based business. It's kind of like the commissary. The commissary is not a profit-based business either. We are commissary is a zero profit business. So.
Well, it's because then you expense out to those stores.
Right.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So, and Kitchen Share is kind of the same way. We didn't start that to make money. We started that because we wanted to help a guy. And then we
make
wanted
some peanut brittle.
and then we wanted to help more people. And then we got we got to help more people. And in doing so, we've been able to be part of adding all these different flavors to Bloomington that wouldn't necessarily have a spot if it wasn't.
Yeah.
what we
Hawaiian
do.
barbecue, Venezuelan food, you name it.
Right.
So many things. What one of the things that I always forget about, and I feel like they were a flash in the pan, was trap mics. Have you had anyone else attempt the late night delivery space like they did?
So GoPuff tried it for a while. GoPuff rented out that kitchen.
Yeah,
And
they had the GoPuff kitchen.
They had the GoPuff kitchen
yeah.
for a while. That didn't take too long. And then Ellie Mae's still does it on occasion.
Yeah. Mhm.
So they have time where they'll rent out kitchen space late at night and they'll do the sales. They do a lot of the truck during the warmer months, but once we get a little cooler, then he'll start using the kitchen.
Yeah, I forgot he did the late night. Yeah, Ken's fantastic. Love the brisket tacos at LA Mae's. If you haven't had them, you'll be happy.
They're delicious.
Yeah. But yeah, I knew they did delivery with driver on deck. I'd be remiss if we didn't mention we got Nate with the hat right behind us there.
Right.
When they came on not too long ago. So I knew deliveries happened out there, and I forgot LA Mae's was doing the late night. So the trap mic, I just thought was interesting because I thought it would be successful. Could you tell, do you think there's still a need for that from your perspective? Or do you think something like that could do well? Someone could come in, rent kitchen space and hey, we're a late night go-to ghost kitchen essentially.
I mean, I think there's a place and time for it. I don't believe right now that's where One World's focus is.
Right.
We have so many clients doing what they need to do that I don't have an earmarked kitchen just to be able to say, okay, you can come in, you can treat this as a ghost kitchen, you can sell out of here late night. I believe that it was great during COVID, especially trap mics, because they had all these different foods, etc. But I think COVID did something that, as much bad came out of it, something good came out of it when everybody, you've got driver on deck, you've got, Grubhub, you've got all these others. You're not just getting pizza and Chinese delivered to you anymore.
Right, yeah.
So you don't have to order out of a ghost kitchen to do that. You can order from, you can order from McDonald's, or you can order from Ellie Mae's, or you can order from Pizza X, or you can order from, you've got all these delivery options. So I think the ghost kitchens we had a lot of people interested in them for a very small time.
Oh, okay.
And then we were like, I can't earmark a kitchen for that. I have so many clients that need to come in here and do what we designed this for.
Right.
That I can't free up a kitchen for that. So I believe there was, but I believe that's kind of pushed along the wayside, and we're back to, the people that want to make pierogies. We're back to the people that want to cater like Tab's Kitchen. We're back to, the people that need to prep for their food truck. That's where we've gotten back to. We've kind of come back full circle. That ghost kitchen filled a need for, during the pandemic that offered a lot of different food to the masses.
Right.
And now there's not a need for that because you can just order your food from your favorite restaurant and have it delivered from pretty much anywhere anymore.
Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy. You can just get whatever you're hankering for brought right to your door.
Right. I mean, the thing that blows my mind is how many food apps there are now. Not just delivery, but I mean, each individual restaurant now has an app.
Yeah.
I'm
sure I'm missing out. I just don't do them. I mean, and I know Buff Louie's has one. There's some local places that do out.
Right.
We have one at the Choco Moose. And I'm like, I'm like, if I don't, I'll pay a little extra. Maybe again, I'm probably missing out on not racking up loyalty. because Buffalo, Shocker Moose, I know a lot of places, you rack up loyalty points and get good free stuff.
Right.
I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just burnt out on it.
I mean, it has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. The advantage is, you've got your loyalty points. You can do the app, you can get the, X amount off or, all the benefits. And then you've got the other side of it where it's like, I'm going to walk into Pizza X and they're going to see my face. They're going to know my name. And I'm going to grab my pizza. I'm going to leave.
Right.
Yeah. So I think you lose that personal touch. But I think, I mean, there's great sides. We have an app. The Pizza X app is great.
Well, but you could still just log onto your website, order, and be logged in and get those points.
Exactly.
You don't necessarily need the app.
You don't need the app.
And same thing with Chocolate Moose. You can just go to our website. And so for me, I feel like that's easier. Where like I don't need to download an app.
Right.
I'll make an account for sure. Okay, interesting. So I'm just like out loud thinking about like, why don't I use apps more? It's like I'm missing out over here.
I mean, I've got a ton of apps, and it benefits me when I'm in a hurry. Or if I've got more than one kid in the car, I'm like, hey, it's late. We're just going to grab something on the way home. This is where we're going. Here's my phone. Put in what you want. And then when everybody's done, I can hit the order button. We can drive over there. We can pick it up. We can go home.
That makes sense.
So there are conveniences.
For sure.
It's definitely a lot easier sometimes.
See, I'm still old school where like I like calling something in, especially if it's super simple.
Right.
Like, hey, can I get General Sal's Crabber and Goon? Cool, see you in 20 minutes.
But it's
Or like Happy Tie, I'll do that. Like, hey, crispy chicken lunch special, name, cell phone number, CN15, wham, bam, we're good.
sure.
But a lot of times, like on the app, you're like, oh shit, I didn't realize I could customize with this or do
Right.
that. And
Or I've ordered the same thing for so long, I didn't even know they had that.
yeah.
Or when did that come back?
That's what I think the biggest pro of like online ordering is like just realizing options that weren't there.
Right.
Or just like, you know what? Yeah, I do want to mix it up. It's like, oh, I can add Chipotle mayo to this. I didn't know that was an option.
Like, that's an option. I like that.
I never thought of that calling in. Yeah, I'm sorry. Can I just say I'm so thankful you guys have ricotta. I went to another place in town. They do not have ricotta. And I'm just like, man, Pizza X has ricotta.
We have ricotta.
I should have just gone to Pizza X. I know. Ricotta's my favorite. Ricotta, onion, sausage. Boom. Name a better pizza. What's Jeff's? Like pepperoni, mushroom, something? Pepperoni, mushroom, jalapeno, something like that.
Pepperoni, sausage, and mushroom. I
Yeah.
think pepperoni, sausage, and onion.
What's your go-to? What's your favorite pizza?
Okay, remember that whole gluten intolerance thing? That doesn't count here.
Yeah.
Just so we're all clear. So my favorite pizza from Pizza X right now is the Italian Stallion. I love that one. It's pepperoni, it's Italian sausage, it's cheddar cheese. It's mushroom. It's delicious. That's my favorite.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's great. But I mean, the Saucy Rooster's great. I mean, it's a barbecue chicken pizza. You can't go wrong with that. We use local barbecue sauce. It's good too.
And that used to be Dixie something, and then changed the name.
Used to be, yeah.
Because we're like, hey, we don't need to be using.
It used to be Dixie Chicken.
Right.
And then somebody had the creative idea, and I'm going to tell you right now, it was me. And I was like, we should call it the Saucy Rooster.
I like it. It's a great
And everybody was like, that's so stupid.
They didn't see the vision right away.
Right. They didn't see the vision. And then they ran all these names up to Jeff, and Jeff's like, what about that Saucy one I heard? I'm like, okay.
Like, oh, not too bad. Oh,
So, that was pretty good, right? So, but it's still confusing, and you still get a ton of people order the Dixie chicken, and we all know what it is.
Yeah, you know
what
it is. You're good.
But,
so you kind of answered a little bit of my next question is what's the process like for Pizza X when it's like, obviously you've got like your Reuben pizza and these monthly special pizzas you do.
Right.
When you do a new one, who's the brain trust? Who's getting together to come up with, let's do these pizzas?
So what we do is we just tell our staff, like, we need to come up with a new pizza.
Any Pizza
Right.
X employee. You tell everyone.
I don't care. If you had a brilliant idea for a pizza, bring it to the table. We'll talk about it. We'll make it. We'll
Fantastic.
go with it,
Better business, better community. For over a century, the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce has been a cornerstone of business growth and community development. They are dedicated to helping local businesses thrive. Their business is all about your business. Join the Chamber today. Call 812-336-6381 or visit chamberbloomington.org to learn more.
But that's how it works. It's like, okay, we need to, we need to come up with another featured pizza. We bring it up in our meetings, with our staff. and then we bring it up in the general meeting, the GM meetings where all the general managers meet once a week, and we all talk about it, and we all try it. And, it's a lot of back and forth with, well, this ingredient's good, but I didn't like it with these toppings. Well, let's try it again next week with this, and we'll see what we can do with that.
What a great meeting to be in.
It definitely is. I was skinny once.
You and me both. My
So
friend.
that's where that is.
You and me both.
But it is a good meeting to be in, and it's, you're like, it's like, man, that sounds really good. I think let's do it. So yeah, the Reuben pizza it's a great pizza. The Texas Ranger is the one is running now.
What's the Texas Ranger?
So it's chicken. It's Buffalo Ranch.
Ooh, okay, nice.
So we did the Buffalo Ranch, and it's garlic. There's one other topping, but I can't remember what it is.
The reason I ask is you recently ran the Nacho Man,
Yep.
Randy Savage. My buddies and I group text was lit up about this pizza. I never got to try it, but they both had ordered it, and like before it even was available, I think you guys put it out like, "Hey, this is coming."
Right.
Look, oh my God, look at this. We probably 100 texts were spent talking about this one pizza.
Sure.
So kudos to whoever came up to the Nacho Man Randy Savage pizza.
Yeah, and that was out of one of the stores.
I love that.
It wasn't
That's great.
and that's how it should be. It's, hey, we've got we're not anchored to the toppings we currently have, because the Reuben has corned beef, and we definitely do not do corned beef
so
all
you
year.
bring that in for that.
So we bring that in for that pizza.
Does it help that that's something that like Hive has?
It doesn't matter.
Really? Okay, it doesn't.
It really doesn't, because what we'll do is, a lot of times guys will be like, hey, we made this in the store. We went to Kroger. We grabbed the ingredients. We tried it. Okay, now it's our job to price out these ingredients, buying in bulk, like we have
Source
to
it,
find.
yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we bring the food to the table. We try it. We like it. Boom, there we go. We move with it.
Ooh. Okay,
So-
so everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table within reason. You've got to think, you're not going to put, a prime rib pizza is going to probably price itself
I
out.
totally get it. Totally get it. But
But within reason.
I'm spending the rest of tonight trying to think of the perfect pizza, and I'm going to text you and Jeff and Kyle in a group message
And that's fine.
at
And,
midnight, and you guys are all going to be super annoyed.
and we'll get the ingredients, and we'll make it at North, and you can show up and you can try it.
Yeah.
You
I'll
know,
be like,
it's,
gentlemen, I'll have a slideshow. Be like, gentlemen, thank you for coming here today.
oh, now you're just overcomplicating it. Just bring in the ingredients. We'll make it
all
at least
right.
once.
I think it'd be funny though. And I like a dress up in a full suit.
And we've got a conference room. We'll do it.
Oh, I know. I've been in there. It was.
So-
I got to sit in on one of those ones.
You did.
It was a lot of fun. I really thought it was cool to look under the hood, so to speak, operationally.
Sure.
Of how you guys did things. I thought it was awesome. Everyone sat around, kind of said, "Hey, here's how Pizza X is doing. Here's how One World Catering is doing. Here's how Hive is doing."
Yeah.
And then you had Pizza X pizza for everyone to eat. And okay, let's just fill. It was a cool like all hands.
Right.
You do it once a week.
Yeah, we have GM meetings with all the Pizza X GMs once a week. Then we have quarterly meetings where we bring in catering and Hive and
Okay.
every GM from
So I got to go to one of the quarterlies.
yeah.
then.
So every GM from around the company is there quarterly.
yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah,
great.
it's awesome because we get to interact with, other restaurants that now I'm fortunate with Commissary. I get to talk to everybody,
right.
but Pizza X usually just chats with Pizza X. They don't get to interact with Hive unless they go to Hive.
Right.
So it's nice to be able to see that different community, the communications that normally wouldn't be there because it's two different worlds.
Yeah, for sure. So do you get a chance to go to Hive very often or any of the other like One World?
I usually hit Hive maybe once a month.
Okay.
And it's usually, if I'm lucky enough to, I'm out and about and I want breakfast, I'll stop in there.
Yeah, the breakfast is so good.
So Hive is where I usually go.
What's the go-to order there for you? Do you have one?
It's just the egg sandwich.
Yeah, the egg
With the tots.
the egg in muffin.
Yep.
Yeah.
With the tots. That's so good.
Yeah. I've talked about it a lot, and I'm going to say it again. The best smelling pancakes I've ever had were the Hive ones. I remember I got them to go once on my way to Brown County, and I just put that bag in my car, and it was the just maltiest, sweetest, best smell I'd ever. And so I ended up having to pull over
Right.
to try a few bites before I got to Brown.
And that's
County.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
That's what you want food to make you do.
Yes, yeah. It
know?
wants you to almost get into a car wreck.
Yeah,
It wants
absolutely.
You to forget about
Almost.
everything. Yeah. Not actually get into one, but forget about everything else and reprioritize all the more
Yeah, it's like
important
I
things.
need to get home to eat that pancake.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
Every single day, my schedule revolves around when I'm eating and what I'm eating.
That's okay.
That's how it should be. I worked hard to get to that point.
Absolutely. That's how it is.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's talk. I want to talk about some other. Before we let you go, I want to talk about other places in town. that you might love that are near or dear to Jay's heart. But first one, if you had to have a non-pizza X pizza, what are you getting? Or I don't know if you're allowed to answer this.
If I have to have a non-pizza X pizza, I'm going to Mother Bear's.
It's hard not to. That's a great choice.
I'm a big fan of deep dish.
Oh, no, exactly. And that's what, back
Right?
to what you were saying earlier, the styles. For
Right.
me, it's all about the mood. You know, Pizza X scratches a different itch than Mother Bear scratches.
And I mean, there's days where you're like, I want a pizza, but I want a Mother Bear's pizza.
Yeah.
Or I want a pizza. I want a Pizza X pizza. I had Pizza X right before I came over here, so it was like that's what I wanted.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, but if I can't have Pizza X, I'll go to Mother Bear's.
Do you have a particular like toppings or type of pizza they do that you like?
Oh no, when it's deep dish, it's simple. It's just a good old fashioned pepperoni and cheese pizza.
Yeah, it's great. Just let the sauce shine through.
Yeah, I really don't want to. I don't want to overcomplicate it. Maybe it's because I'm a simple dude, but
Yeah.
just throw on pepperoni and cheese, and you've got my heart.
Okay, I love it. What about other breakfast spots in town? I know you mentioned obviously loving the sandwich at Hive. Do you get to eat out breakfast very often?
No,
Okay.
I'm very, drop kids off at school 7:50. I'm at work by 8:15.
Right.
Every Thursday I'm fortunate enough to go to the Caffeinated Cook in Ellisville.
Oh, nice.
I get a breakfast sandwich.
Why every Thursday?
I have a meeting every Thursday.
Oh, that's nice.
So
That's smart.
So we meet there at 8:30.
I've never been to Caffeinated Cook.
Really?
And I've been hearing all about
Oh,
it.
the scones are amazing.
The scones and the B's and G's on the weekend.
Yep.
And just knowing that the B's and G's are the weekend.
Yeah,
so
just
I
Friday,
don't-
Saturday. And what I learned is they make roughly 40 orders
Okay.
each
I remember
day. And
I
that's
saw
it.
a post she made. That's the thing. I haven't gone there, but I follow because part of my
Right.
what I do. And where they're like, hey, we burnt the gravy. No biscuits and gravy this week. What a small mom and pop thing. And I just love that.
Right.
Like they just made a mistake. Like, hey, sorry, we burnt it. We burnt the gravy. No biscuits and gravy. It's like good on them. Instead of trying to serve some shitty gravy.
Right.
They're just like, hey, sorry guys. See you next weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we go out, I'll get a scone, I'll get a breakfast sandwich on a bagel.
Okay.
Again, we won't talk about the gluten intolerance. And a caramel frap. Caramel
okay.
frap, breakfast sandwich every time.
So I saw a picture where they had s'mores scones.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, buddy.
Oh, they're delicious.
Okay.
The s'mores are good. I had one, it was a sun-dried tomato and something else. What was it? It's the last scone I had, but man, it was amazing.
Dude, I could do a whole episode on scones.
I mean,
Well, that's the thing is I love scones, and I've grown to like them more as I've gotten older. I feel like when
Right.
you're younger, you just want like sweet, sweet, sweet.
Yep.
As you get, scones they're a little more refined.
they are. You've got that sweet, but when you mix it with the savory, like
Yeah.
if you get a sun-dried tomato, it's scone, you get all the flavors.
Well, you can do savory or sweet, but even your sweet ones aren't like sweet bombs typically.
No, absolutely
So-
not. It's not like a mouthful of sugar. It's not like you're eating a donut. Mm-hmm. It's a biscuit flavor. It's a biscuit texture with a wonderful flavor.
Yeah.
So I treat myself every Thursday, and I go.
Caffeinated. I'm glad you brought them up. They
go for
deserve
breakfast.
deserve some love. I've heard that she's just super nice and
Oh,
sweet,
gosh.
and they do great stuff
Absolutely.
out there. Okay, I'm making it happen. Garrett, we're gonna do breakfast meeting out there soon.
I went in there a couple weeks ago, and I felt kind of like I feel today. And I was like, listen, I said, I need something hot that's not coffee. Or I need something hot that doesn't taste like coffee, because I don't like coffee. And I know
Oh, really?
I'm weird in saying that.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And I had this cinnamon tea. It tasted literally like a Red Hot in a tea form, and it was the most amazing flavor.
Huh.
And I was like, I walked in and I didn't mind sounding like an idiot that just says, I need something hot that
Not coffee.
doesn't taste like coffee.
And they made it happen.
They made it happen.
See-
They have this huge wall of teas. So
When you
that's
say
no.
when you say cinnamon hot tea, like that sounds good.
Right.
Like cinnamon, ooh, it's like aromatic. But when you describe it as a red hot, I'm just like, ugh.
You don't think so. I mean,
But I could see it.
but it was very soothing for what I needed.
Yeah, no,
Because
right.
I-
Yeah. Just kind of releases the muscles.
Oh, it was so good. Like that.
clears
There you
out.
go. In the picture there, the bookshelf or the shelf that's up on the left, right next to the clock.
Oh yeah,
there.
all
Those
the
are
teas
all
up
teas.
there. I love it.
And
Yeah,
it's-
because I
it's
went in
amazing.
there back when it was Trail something Roastery, because we used to do Food Truck Wednesday, right? There.
Right.
But yeah, just haven't had really an excuse to go out. Like for me to go, it's going to be I'm going for Caffeinated Cook.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I'm just out in Ellisville in the morning. Doesn't happen.
Right.
But cool. That's awesome, man. I love my other favorite scones. I love the chocolate chip scone from Inkwell. It's a good sweet one that's not overly sweet.
Right.
There's something about like their muffins and their scones that have just a certain unique taste to them that I really enjoy from Inkwell. And then Two Sticks. I mean, my God, Two Sticks, everything they touch is gold, but they're everything bagel scone. Everything seed.
Right.
And then it has little chunks of cream cheese through it. And it's like crisp on the outside, but still moist. It's everything you want. Everything you want from a scone. All right. What about you got a big burger guy? Got to get out and have burgers too often? Gluten-free bun, no bun?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
No. I mean, officially, I'm supposed to say the Hive Smash Burger.
Which
obviously,
unofficially, it's
but
still
unofficially, it's actually one of my favorite burgers.
Yes, it's like that's one of those where like it's like, oh, you're saying it because you have to say it. That is a freaking great burger.
It is a really good burger, and it's just not the pat. I mean, the patties are charred and they're nice on the side, and then you've got the good flavored bun. So, as far as an actual burger goes, I would go to Hive and get the Smash Burger.
The Bloomington Town Planner is a community calendar owned and published by local residents John and Sharon Martin. Mailed out to Bloomington homes in December of each year, it features school schedules and community events. And don't forget the coupons at the bottom of the calendar. They'll save you money and help you decide on the next restaurant or retailer to check out here in the Bloomington area. Town Planner also has an online calendar which can be found at townplanner.com. Make sure to sign up for their weekly e-newsletter so you can stay on top of all the fun events going on around town.
I'm all about it. A little sauce on there. It's what is it, like the Maillard reaction or something when you like smash and you get the
so good.
Get the crispy edges.
Yeah, that's the best part. I mean, it's like a Hinkle's burger from Hive. It's just
when they're similar but different.
Right.
I feel like Hinkle's is a little more no frills, and Hive is like a bougied up version of the Hinkle's burger.
Right.
And it's like, that's great. They both have their place.
And they both have great flavors, and I'll eat them both.
Yep. What about any other restaurants you get to go to? I mean, again, you're a family man. So I know it's not maybe quite as much as someone like myself that's just like, oh, yeah, every day I'm eating out.
Right. Now, we're at home most of the time, and it's great. Every now and again, I've got my favorite spot is in Nashville, and it is the Sugar Creek Barbecue. And it's back. It's back behind McDonald's. It's hiding back in a corner there.
Oh, where did they move? Because it used to be a ways up.
Yeah, they're right back there by the Family Dollar now.
Oh no way! Okay,
yep. So you go right back in there, and
dude, that's huge.
My fiance and I, we go probably once every couple of months. It's usually just the two of us, and it's the barbecue nachos or it's the barbecue. The loaded fries, and they do this. It's like a steak fry, but it's a thin steak fry, so it's crispy.
Dude, I had no idea they were back there.
Oh yeah.
So I went there a couple times back when they were further east on 46 on the south side of the road.
Right.
And it was one of those things where they were out of a ton of stuff. But the thing is, at the good barbecue places, you're gonna have that.
Right.
Where like, hey, this is what we got, and you want just what they have because it's fresh. They're rotating. They're not just keeping stuff holding all the time. But it was so good, and their sauce was like the exact style of sauce that I like. I think if I recall correctly, it was like still fairly vinegary, and like I like that,
Yeah, they have a couple different barbecue sauces, which is great.
Yeah, so maybe it was just like specifically their Carolina style or whatever. But I had no idea because I'll pop into our chocolate mousse store,
right?
But then I'm like, well, I got to get back to work in Bloomington. I'm not going to shoot all the way out on 46, but since they're right
down the road,
that's totally different.
Right down the road.
Oh, buddy, that just made me so excited. Sugar Creek. I always call it Salt Creek Barbecue. Sugar Creek Barbecue.
Yeah, it took me a minute to process
to get it right. Yeah, to get it correct.
But that's our we don't have the kids and we've got a little time to drive.
Yeah.
Kind of deal. So it's a lot of fun. And the food's just amazing.
Little fried biscuits with apple butter.
Yeah, it's just you can't make this up. It's
I love it, man.
I'm very fortunate. I'm in a business that it's okay to be fat in. So, it's one of those that I went and ate a whole bunch of good food and
oh no.
I mean, my new doctor was very polite in saying, if you were a little smaller, you probably wouldn't,
Well, that's nice. See,
you wouldn't be feeling as beat up as you are.
I've got a trick for that. I just don't go to the doctor.
Oh. Well, that's what I know. That's what I forgot
silly
to do.
Goose. You don't
that's
go
what
to
I
the
forgot
doctor.
to do.
They're not going to tell you anything good.
I forgot to do that.
No, you got kids. You probably should. Yeah, maybe I'll start taking it serious one of these days.
Well, When you have to, go for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's important when you need to. In the
As the kids
meantime,
say, YOLO.
yeah. But it's how long YOLO at that point, you know?
Oh, absolutely. That's so funny.
Oh, God, that looks so good.
Yeah, this is this. We're getting more and more. Almost every episode is just the end. It's us just looking at food pictures and be like, okay, we should probably call it. There's people listening and not watching, and even then, you don't see the food pictures we're looking at.
They need to see the food pictures. Those are delicious.
One of the things I meant to mention was you guys have done some pop-ups, and my girlfriend and I went to the Chef's Table one.
Right.
That you guys did, which was fantastic. Clark and Tiffany have been guests on here. They do amazing food. I think they did my family's Thanksgiving last year, and the food was incredible. We just had their Reuben, and Clark gave it to my girlfriend, said, this is the best Reuben you're ever going to have. And she tried it, and she was like, this is the best Reuben I've ever had.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, they are not messing around. But they did a really great pop-up dinner
Right.
that had just like scallops and all this different stuff. And those are really cool events. So keep an eye out for those. I don't know when if you guys are doing one.
We don't have one scheduled yet, but we
Right.
have some on the books. So
I love it.
We're working with people to get everything ready.
Yeah.
So that way they can do those. But we love doing them.
Yeah, there's so
We
much
love
fun.
having everybody up there. It's just, it's just one more facet of, of what we do. We've got the terrace up there, and
You name it.
you can be there, you can look over, you can actually see the kitchens where the food's been made. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the 20-some facets of what you guys do. It's unreal. Yeah, I want to do one where I'm like where it's like a guest chef.
Right.
And you don't announce who it is, and then it's me, and everyone's like, oh God, no, this is gonna be and I just do like frozen specialties.
Hey, it's
but
okay.
but I plate them all like fancy.
That'd be fine.
That'd be great.
If you can
And
make it
we'll
look
just
good.
and we'll make it a fundraiser for something.
Yeah.
This will be a hoot. Garrett, will you be my Sue? All right, that's a no. That's a no.
No, I got you covered. Look on the bright side. If I help you, if I'm there with you,
Yeah.
people won't say anything to me about how bad it was.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah,
Ignorance,
we'll get nothing but compliments.
just like going to the doctor. Not going to the doctor. Ignorance is bliss.
There you go.
Jay, you're the man. You do so much. It's so cool. I love everything you guys are doing. You're the man behind the scenes of making it all happen. So I'm glad we got to bring you on and actually get to hear for the guy doing it and helping all these incredible businesses succeed in Bloomington.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Jeff told me before I came and sat, and he's like, yeah, just relax and have fun. I was like, well, I think I can do that. So
You're like, cheers. He's like coming from a no dishes vet.
yeah, I know a two-time.
Two-time. Yeah, there's
two-timer.
only two timers, I think,
Right.
maybe
So
three.
I mean, I had a lot of expert training on this.
Yeah, I
Just
could
relax
tell.
and have
I was
fun.
going to say, I was like, who media trained this fella?
Oh yeah, You have no idea.
Cheers, man. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jay. There you go. You can't laugh, Garrett. All right, here we go. There you go, little fella. Oh, what another great episode. Thanks so much to Season 7 presenting sponsor. Visit Bloomington. Check them out. Visit Bloomington.com. As always, keep those hands dry. This episode of the No Dishes Podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Garrett Portinga of Green Hat Media in beautiful downtown Bloomington, Indiana.
No Dishes Media.
No Dishes Media.